It was a beautiful evening in the small town of Rashpur. The air was filled with the sweet smell of roses and fresh food. Inside a big marriage hall, people were dancing, laughing, and enjoying the wedding of Mira and Raghav. The bride looked like a queen in her red lahanga, and the groom stood tall and proud, smiling for the cameras. Everyone was happy. Everyone except one person. Just 2 streets away, an old woman sat on her balcony. Her name was Mrs. D'Souza. She had lived in Rashpur for 40 years. She knew everyone. She knew their names, their families, their secrets. She picked up her phone. "Hello, police," she said. "There is something wrong at the wedding hall. I heard shouting before, and that bride. She doesn't belong here. I know it. Please, come." She cut the call. Her eyes didn't blink. They stayed fixed on the wedding hall lights, shining bright in the dark sky. Back at the wedding, the music was loud. The guests were dancing in circles. The photographers were busy clicking photos. Mira and Raghav sat on the stage, surrounded by family, sweets, and flowers. But then, the music stopped. It was sudden, like someone had pressed the pause button. Sirens, blue and red lights filled the entrance of the hall. 2 police jeeps arrived, and 4 officers jumped out. People looked at each other, confused. Some moved back, afraid. A few took out their phones to record. The wedding turned silent, as if time had frozen. Raghav stood up. "What's happening?" he asked. Mira looked scared. Her hands began to shake. She held her mother's arm tightly. The lead officer, Inspector Verma, walked in. He was tall, serious, and calm. He didn't shout. He didn't look angry. He looked interested. "We received a complaint," he said. "We need to speak with—" The bride gasps filled the room. The uncle dropped his cup of tea. A child started crying. "Why?" Mira's mother asked. "She's my daughter. She has done nothing wrong." Inspector Verma looked at her. "It's just routine. Please come with us, Miss Mira." Mira stood up slowly. Her hands were cold. Her heart was beating fast. She didn't know what was going on. She followed the officers to a small room near the side hall. In the side room, Inspector Verma closed the door behind them. Only Mira and 1 female officer were with him now. He sat down across from her. "Do you know a woman named Mrs. D'Souza?" he asked. Mira shook her head. "No, sir. She lives 2 streets away. She says she has seen you before. Not recently, but years ago. She thinks you were on a missing child poster." Mira's eyes widened. "Missing child? What are you saying, sir? I've lived here all my life." Verma leaned forward. "You were born in 1999, right?" Mira nodded. "Your mother said she gave birth to you in the local hospital here, but when we checked, there are no records." Mira's mouth opened, but no words came out. The female officer showed her a photo. It was old, faded, and printed on yellow paper. "This girl," she said, "was kidnapped from a hospital 18 years ago. No one found her again. Her name was Anya." Mira looked at the picture. She felt dizzy. The girl in the photo looked exactly like her. Meanwhile, outside the room, guests started to whisper. "Why are the police here? What did Mira do? Is she in trouble? Is the wedding cancelled?" Raghav paced back and forth. He was angry and confused. "What's going on?" he asked Mira's mother. "What is this about?" She didn't answer. Her eyes were wet. Her lips were shaking. "I should never have let this happen," she whispered to herself. "I should have told her the truth." Inside the room, Verma's voice became softer. "We're not accusing you, Mira. We just want to know the truth. Who raised you? Can you tell me everything you remember about your childhood?" Mira was quiet. Then she spoke slowly. "I remember living in a small house. I never saw my father. My mother always said he left us, wasn't allowed to go to school for a few years. I was homeschooled. We moved many times. She never let me talk to neighbors." Verma nodded. "Do you trust your mother?" Mira looked down. "I did," she said. "But now, I don't know." Verma stood up and walked to the door. But before opening it, he turned around. "One last thing," he said. "This might sound strange, but when I saw you on the stage, I recognized you. I was a junior officer 18 years ago. I worked on the case of missing baby Anya." He paused. "I never forgot that face." He opened the door and left outside. Guests had started leaving. The party was over. No one danced. No one smiled. A reporter arrived with a camera. "What happened here?" she asked, but no one had an answer. Only one thing was clear. This wedding was no longer about love, food, and celebration. It had become a mystery. The wedding hall was quiet now. The guests had left. The music had stopped. Even the flowers looked tired. But inside the small room, the storm was just beginning. Mira sat on the chair, her hands folded in her lap. Her heart was still beating fast. She looked at her mother standing outside the glass window. Their eyes met, but her mother looked away. Inspector Verma returned with an old file. He placed it on the table in front of Mira. "Do you know what this is?" he asked. Mira shook her head. "This file," he said slowly, "belongs to a missing child case from 18 years ago. A baby girl was kidnapped from a hospital in Mumbai. Her name was Anya Malhotra. She was only 6 months old." He opened the file and pulled out 2 photos, one of the baby, and one taken just 2 years before. He placed them next to Mira's face. The female officer leaned closer. "Same eyes, same nose, same mark on the shoulder." Mira's eyes widened. Mark, the officer pointed. You have a small birthmark under your left shoulder, right? Mira hesitated, then slowly nodded. Inspector Verma's voice became firm. That same mark was listed in the missing report. We think you might be Anya. Mira felt like the floor was shaking. Her voice was low and broken. No, I'm Mira. I grew up here. My mother raised me. I don't know any other family. Verma looked at her calmly. And what if she's not your real mother? Outside the room, Mira's mother sat in a corner, crying. Ragov walked over. What's going on? What are they saying to Mira? She looked up at him. They think she's someone else, she whispered. Someone who went missing. Before I found her, Ragov frowned. What do you mean found her? The woman took a deep breath. It was 16 years ago. I was on a train. I heard crying. I found a baby, alone. No one was near her. I took her home. I raised her. I gave her a name. I gave her a life. Ragov stepped back, shocked. You never told anyone, not even the police. She shook her head. I was scared. I had lost my own daughter that year. I thought maybe God gave me another chance. Tears fell from her eyes. I didn't steal her. I saved her. Back in the room, Mira's mind was full of questions. If this was true, who was she really? Did she have another family out there? Why did her mother never tell her the truth? The officer interrupted her thoughts. We will need to do a DNA test to confirm everything. It will take a few days. Mira nodded slowly. And if it's true, Verma looked at her. Then you have a family in Mumbai. A mother and father who never gave up on finding you. They still search for you, even after 18 years. Mira's voice cracked. And what about the woman who raised me? Verma didn't answer. He just looked down. Suddenly, the door opened. Raghav entered. His face was pale. His voice was low. Mira, I think we need to talk. Alone, Verma stepped out with the officers, leaving the two alone in the room. Mira stood up. Did you know about this? Raghav shook his head. No, but there's something I need to tell you. Something I didn't want to say before the wedding. Mira's eyes narrowed. What is it? Raghav took a deep breath. I've seen that missing poster before. A long time ago. I didn't say anything, because I wasn't sure. But now, I think I know who you really are. Mira's lips trembled. How do you know? Raghav paused. Because my sister was taken from our family when she was a baby. Her name was Anya Malhotra. The air in the room turned cold. Mira stared at Raghav. Her lips moved, but no words came out. You ... double quotes, she whispered. You think I'm your sister? Raghav nodded slowly. His eyes were filled with pain, not anger. When I was 8, my baby sister was kidnapped from the hospital. My parents never recovered. We searched for years. Posters, police, everything. But nothing worked. The only photo we had was the one in that file. He looked at Mira again. When I saw you for the first time, I felt something. I thought it was love. But maybe it was something else. Mira's knees felt weak. She sat down on the chair, breathing heavily. Her entire life felt like a lie. Flashback 18 years ago, a crowded hospital in Mumbai. Nurses shouting, babies crying, chaos everywhere. In the maternity ward, a woman slept peacefully, her newborn baby wrapped beside her. But in the shadows, someone was watching. A woman dressed in a nurse's outfit walked in quietly. She looked around. No one noticed. She gently picked up the baby and walked out, calm, silent, like nothing had happened. The screen fades to black. A title appears. Missing, Anya Malhotra, 6 months old. That was the beginning of a nightmare. Back to present. Inspector Verma sat outside with Mira's mother, the woman who raised her. He looked into her eyes. Why didn't you go to the police when you found her? She wiped her tears. I wanted to. I really did, but I had just lost my own daughter. I was broken. When I saw that baby alone at the train station, crying, I thought maybe it was fate. Verma's voice was calm, but firm. Even so, you broke the law. You hid the child's identity. I didn't hurt her, she said softly. I gave her everything. A home, a family, an education. But not the truth, Verma replied. She lowered her head. She had no answer. Inside the hall, Mira sat alone now. Guests were gone. Decorations were falling. Lights were off. Her wedding day had turned into a nightmare. She thought about every memory. Her birthdays. Her school days. Her mother's stories. Were they all lies? Or did love still matter, even if it came from someone who wasn't her real mother? Raghav came back with something in his hand. It was a small diary. This belonged to my mother, he said. She wrote letters to Anya every year, even when she was gone. He gave it to Mera. She opened the first page. To my sweet Anya, wherever you are, I hope someone is taking care of you. But we are still waiting. We will never stop. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She didn't know this woman. She didn't remember that life. But still, she felt something, a soft pull in her heart. Inspector Verma walked in with a folder. DNA samples are sent, he said. Results will come in a few days, but there's more. He looked at Mira and Raghav. A witness has come forward. Someone who claims they saw the kidnapping happen. Mira stood up quickly. Who? Who was it? Verma's eyes narrowed. She's on her way here now. Cut 2. A car stops outside. A woman in her 50s steps out, holding a bag. She walks slowly, nervously. As she enters the hall, she looks at Mira and gasps. I remember her, she says. I remember the eyes. She was taken by someone wearing a nurse's dress. Everyone leans in. Do you remember who it was? Verma asks. The woman nods. Double quotes yes. It was a woman with a burn scar on her hand. She dropped her ID by mistake. I saw the name before she ran. Verma's voice turned sharp. What was the name? The woman answers, Anjali, Mira's mother's. Face turns pale. She drops the glass in her hand. Everyone looks at her. Raghov asks, do you know someone named Anjali? The woman doesn't answer, but her silence says everything. The hall was silent. The name Anjali hung in the air like a dark cloud. Everyone stared at Mira's mother. Her face had turned white. Her hands were shaking. She didn't speak, but her eyes told a story. Inspector Verma stepped forward. Who is Anjali? He asked again. Tell us the truth. She swallowed hard. Then, her voice came out, weak but clear. Anjali was my sister. Gasps filled the room. I didn't steal Mira. My sister did. Flashback 16 years ago, crowded train station. Anjali, wearing a nurse's uniform, holding a baby, her eyes darting side to side. She looks scared. She sits on a bench and opens a newspaper. Inside it, the baby's photo on a missing poster. She panics. At that moment, her sister, Mira's now mother, walks up. What are you doing? She asks. Anjali begins crying. I made a mistake. I don't know what to do. The sister takes the baby from her arms. Go. Just go. I'll handle it. Anjali disappears into the crowd. The sister holds the baby tightly and walks away. To present, I was scared, she said. Anjali was unstable. She had just lost her job at the hospital. She said she did it for me because I had lost my own child. But I didn't ask for this. She broke into tears. I wanted to return the baby, but then I saw her smile. I heard her laugh, and I couldn't let go. Verma looked at her, disappointed but calm. You chose silence over justice. She nodded. I did. And now I'm ready to face whatever comes. Mira sat in a corner, listening. Everything she believed was falling apart. She wasn't Mira. She wasn't her mother's daughter. She was Anya Malhotra, the girl who vanished 18 years ago. She whispered to herself, who am I now? Raghov heard her. He came closer, and this time his eyes were different, softer, sadder. He sat beside her. There's something I need to say. Mira looked up. What now? He took a deep breath. When I found out you might be my sister, something changed inside me. I tried to ignore it, but deep down, I think I always knew. He paused. That's why. I never told my parents about you. I didn't want them to get hopeful. I didn't want to lose you, no matter who you were. Mira stared at him. Did you know? Before the wedding? Raghov looked down. I suspected, but I didn't want it to be true. A tear rolled down Mira's cheek. So, what do we do now? He stood up slowly. We wait for the truth, no matter how painful. Suddenly, Verma's phone rang. He picked it up, listened for a few seconds, then hung up. The witness gave us more information, he said. She remembered something else. The name of the hospital, and the doctor who was on duty that night. He looked at Mira's mother. She also mentioned someone matching your description, seen in the hospital corridor just before the baby went missing. The woman's face turned pale again. No, it wasn't me, she whispered. It couldn't be. Verma raised an eyebrow. You just said your sister took the baby. Now, you say it wasn't her? She stood up in panic. Wait, no, I mean. Raghov stepped forward. Inspector, please, just tell us what's going on. Verma's tone changed. Cold, serious. There's a second suspect now. Someone who may have planned this long before the baby went missing. He paused. And this time, it's not Mira's mother. Everyone looked confused. Mira asked, then who? Verma looked straight at Raghov. We're investigating your family too. Cut 2. Raghov's home. A drawer being opened. Inside, a torn photo of baby Anya, and a nurse's ID badge. The camera zooms in. Name on badge. Anjali Verma, the same surname as the inspector. It was late at night. Mera couldn't sleep. Her mind was full of questions. Her identity, her wedding, her past. Everything had changed in one day. She stood by the window, staring at the moon. Behind her, Raghov was sitting silently, holding the torn photo they had just found. This photo, he whispered, was hidden in my father's drawer. Mira turned. Then your father knew something. Raghov nodded. He used to work in that hospital where the baby was kidnapped. Cut 2. Inspector Verma's house. He sat alone in his study. An old box in front of him. He opened it slowly. Inside, an old photo of 2 girls. A nurse's badge. Anjali Verma. A letter. Yellow with age. He picked up the photo. 2 young girls, smiling. One of them was Anjali, his younger sister. Flashback 20 years ago. Yali was a bright nurse, smart, kind, and loved by patients. But then she fell in love with the wrong man, a doctor, married, dangerous. One night she discovered she was pregnant, shamed and scared. She begged her brother, Inspector Verma, for help. I'll lose my job, she cried. No one will trust me again. He promised to protect her. But soon after, she disappeared. No note, no call, nothing. Back to present. Verma looked at the photo and whispered, where did you go, Anjali? He picked up the letter. It was written, in Anjali's handwriting. Brother, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I did something terrible. I took a child. Not for me, but for someone else. I was told to do it. I was paid. I didn't know the child's face would haunt me forever. Verma's hands shook. He had never opened the letter before. Now he knew. His own sister was the woman who started this nightmare. Back at Raghov's house, Mira looked at the ID badge. Her hands trembled. So the inspector's sister kidnapped me. Raghov nodded. And my father may have helped her, or paid her. Mira sat down slowly. Why? Why would anyone do that to a baby? Raghov looked at her, hesitant. What if my father wanted a child and couldn't have one? What if he paid Anjali to take a baby? Mira's eyes widened. Are you saying? Your father bought me. Raghov looked away. Cut 2. Police headquarters. Inspector Verma entered the evidence room. He placed Anjali's letter in an envelope and sealed it. His assistant walked in. Sir, the DNA results are back. Verma turned sharply. What do they say? The assistant hesitated. She's Anya Malhotra, Saratas Persen, the missing girl from 18 years ago. Verma closed his eyes. It was confirmed. He walked into the hall where Mira and Raghov were waiting. I have the results, he said. You are Anya Malhotra. Mira didn't react. She already knew. But Verma wasn't finished. There's something else. My sister, Anjali, confessed in a letter. She was part of your kidnapping, but she didn't act alone. He looked directly at Raghov. Your father was involved. Raghov froze. No, that can't be. I'm sorry, Verma said. He paid Anjali. He wanted a child, a daughter. But instead of adopting, he took the wrong path. Mira's voice was cold. So, both our families lied. Verma nodded. Suddenly, Mira stood up. I want to meet my real parents, she said. Now, Verma agreed. We'll arrange it. Tomorrow morning? Raghov stepped forward. Can I come? Mira paused, then said quietly, No, I need to do this alone. Cut 2. Mira sitting alone in her room. She picks up the diary. Raghov gave her the one written by her real mother. She flips to the last page. Anya, if you're out there, know that we love you. We've never stopped waiting, and we never— Will tears fall from Mira's eyes? Tomorrow, she would meet the woman who wrote those words. But what if she didn't feel anything? What if it was too late? The morning sun rose slowly. Birds chirped outside. But inside Mira's heart, there was silence. She stood in front of the mirror, wearing a simple white suit. No makeup, no jewelry, just a storm of emotions in her eyes. Today, she was going to meet the people who had searched for her for 18 years. Her real parents. Cut 2. A quiet bungalow in another city. An older couple, Mr. and Mrs. sat on the sofa. Nervous. Silent. Hopeful. Mr. Malhotra looked at the clock for the 10th time. Do you think it's really her? He asked. His wife held his hand. I don't care if she remembers us or not, she whispered. I just want to see her once. Cut 2. A car stops outside the house. Mira steps out. She looks at the building. Her hands are cold. Her heart is racing. Inspector Verma walks beside her. You sure you want to do this alone? He asks. She nods. Yes. She walks to the door and presses the bell. The door opens. Mrs. Malhotra appears. Her eyes land on Mira, and she freezes. A long pause. Then she bursts into tears. She runs forward and holds Mira tight, crying loudly, My child, my Anya, you're here. Mr. Malhotra joins them, his eyes wet with years of pain. Mira doesn't know what to do. She lets them hug her, but her arms stay at her sides. She doesn't feel the connection. Not yet. They sit inside. The parents show her baby photos, toys. Her first shoe. Mrs. Malhotra says, We never changed this room. Your room. We believed you'd come back one day. Mira looks at the room. A small pink bed, old posters on the wall, a teddy bear with one eye missing. She smiles faintly. I don't remember any of this, she says softly. It's okay, her father says. We remember everything. Later, they sit for lunch. The table is full of dishes, things Mira used to eat as a baby, but she barely touches anything. She looks at her real mother. Can I ask something? Mrs. Malhotra nods. Do you still love me, even if I don't? Feel like your daughter right now. Mrs. Malhotra gets up, walks over, and kneels beside her. We don't need you to feel anything, she says. We just need you to know our love never changed. It waited. It waited for 18 years. Mira's eyes fill with tears. Cut 2. Later that evening, Mira walks alone in the backyard. She sees an old swing. She sits on it. Her mind is full. 2 mothers, 2 lives. One who gave birth, one who gave everything else. Suddenly, her phone rings. It's Raghov. She hesitates, then answers. Raghov's voice is quiet. I just wanted to know. Are you okay? Mira pauses, then says, I don't. No, I miss you, he says. I miss the version of us that was real. She replies, a long silence. Then Raghov says, I think you need to know something. What? My father is missing. Cut 2. Raghov's house. Raghov is searching drawers. Looking under furniture, he finds a small key taped under the desk. He uses it to open an old trunk. Inside a bundle of cash, another photo of baby Anya, and a passport. The name, Rajesh Malhotra. But the photo? It's his father. Mira. Voice on the phone? Raghov. What is this, Raghov? I think. Your real family isn't just yours. Mira, what do you mean? Raghov. I think my father may have been related to you all along. Mira stood frozen. Raghav's words echoed in her mind. I think my father may have been related to you all along, but how? How could the man behind her pain be part of her blood? Cut to Raghav's house. Raghav stared at the passport. The name on it was not his father's name, that it was Rajesh Malhotra, the same last name as Mira's real family, and next to the name, Line, brother of Harish Malhotra. Raghav whispered, that means, my father is Mira's uncle. Flashback 20 years ago, two brothers, arguing, one, rich and proud Harish Malhotra, a successful businessman. The other, bitter and struggling Rajesh Malhotra, angry and full of jealousy. You took everything from me, Rajesh shouted. The house, the company, even our parents' respect. Harish replied calmly, I worked for it. You gambled it away. Rajesh swore that one day he would make Harish feel the same pain, the same loss, and soon after, Harish's newborn baby disappeared. Back to present. Raghav called Mira again. We need to meet, he said. There's more. Cut to a quiet cafe. Mira and Raghav sit across from each other. Raghav places the passport and documents on the table. This proves it, he said. My father is your uncle. He didn't just buy you. He stole you as revenge against his own brother. Mira is silent. Her hands tremble. All these years, she whispered, my own uncle raised me as a lie, and my father kept this truth hidden from me too, Raghav said bitterly. We're both victims. Suddenly Inspector Verma arrived. I've been trying to reach you, he said. We found Rajesh's car abandoned at the river bridge, but no sign of him. Mira's eyes widened. Do you think he ran away? Verma shook his head. We found blood near the bridge, and a note. He handed it to Mira. The paper was soaked and torn, but one line was clear. I never meant to hurt her. I only wanted justice. But now, it's too late, Raghav whispered. Is he dead? Verma didn't answer. We're still searching. Later that night, Mira sat on her bed in the guest room of her real parents' home. She looked at a photo of herself as a child, not the one from the fake family, but one from before she went missing. Tears rolled down her cheeks. How do I forgive someone who stole my life, even if he thought he was hurt? She whispered. Suddenly, she heard a knock on the door. It was Mrs. Malhotra, her real mother. She came in slowly and sat beside her. You don't have to love us today, she said gently. You've been through a storm. Mira looked at her. How did you survive for 18 years not knowing where I was? Her mother smiled through tears. Because I never gave up hope. And today, you're here. That's enough. Mira held her hand tightly. Maybe healing could begin. Cut to Raghav's house. He found another photo hidden in the trunk, this time a photo of his own mother holding baby Mira. But the date was strange. 2 days before the kidnapping. Raghav's eyes widened. This wasn't random, he whispered. They planned it, even before she was taken. Mira stood in front of the mirror again, but this time, she wasn't confused. She knew who she was. Not just Anya Malhotra, the missing girl. Not just Mira, the daughter of the man who raised her. She was both and more. She had survived a lie. Now, it was time to speak the truth. Cut to a large living room. Both families sat there, silent. On one side, Mr. and Mrs. Malhotra, her real parents. On the other, Raghav and his mother, confused, broken, ashamed. Mera entered. No makeup, no fancy clothes, just calm strength in her eyes. She looked at Raghav's mother. Did you know? She asked. Raghav's mother lowered her head. I knew. Part of it, she whispered. Your kidnapping, the secret deal. But I didn't know you were my husband's niece. Mira nodded. But you raised me well. You gave me a home, a name, a family. Then she looked at her real parents. And you gave me life. You waited for me, with a mother's heart. Everyone had tears in their eyes. Then Mira spoke louder. I can't undo the past, but I can speak the truth, so no other child suffers like I did. Cut to a courtroom. Crowds, cameras, reporters. Mira walks to the stand. She tells the whole story about the kidnapping, the forged adoption, the secret revenge. Inspector Verma presents the letter, the passport, the photos. The judge listens, silently. In the end, a decision is made. Rajesh Malhotra, though missing, is declared guilty of kidnapping and fraud. His assets are frozen. A reward is issued for his vocation, but Mira stops them. I don't want money. I don't want revenge. I just want peace. Cut to weeks later. Mira opens a small learning center for orphan children. She teaches them, plays with them, laughs with them. She gives them what she lost to childhood. Raghav visits one day, holding a small plant peace offering. He says with a soft smile. Mira smiles back. We both lost something, but we found truth. Raghav says. They plant the tree together, a new beginning. Voice over Mira's final words. Sometimes, family is not about blood. It's about who stays when truth breaks everything apart. I was stolen, yes, but I wasn't destroyed. I grew back. And now, I help others grow too.